Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the relation between the alpha, beta, gamma. In the previous three classes, we discussed about transistor formation, transistor working, how the transistor is performing, transistor biasing, and also discussed about the forward bias and reverse bias, that is the active region. Also discussed about the different configuration, common base, common emitter, common collector, and we also discussed about the current amplification factor in common base, common emitter, common collector. So these amplification factors are nothing but alpha, beta, gamma. So now we try to discuss what is the relation between the alpha, beta, gamma. The meaning is generally the uh, component manufacturers will give the beta value. So by using the beta value, we can calculate the alpha and gamma if you know the relation between these three. Now we discuss about this relation between the alpha, beta and gamma. Alpha, beta and alpha, gamma. So we know that first we try to know the alpha, beta. Already we discussed in the previous class in detail. Now alpha equal to, so this alpha is at the common base configuration. No, not common base configuration. So that is what we are getting. That is the common base configuration. Alpha is. So delta, change in the collector current to the change in the emitter current is called as a alpha. So alpha equal to delta IC by delta IE. So when VCB is constant, VCB is constant. So what about the beta? Beta is nothing but delta IC by delta IB when VCE is constant. So now we try to correlate these two alpha and beta. You can see delta IC are same. So delta IB and delta IE is there. We know that in transistor configuration, the transistor currents, three currents are there: emitter current, base current, collector current. The relation between these three currents are emitter current equals to IB plus IC, base current plus collector current. So that is, now we try to apply this change in the current to the both side. Delta IE equals to delta IB plus delta IC. So dividing the above equation with delta IC, we can get that delta IE by delta IC, delta IB by delta IC, delta IC by delta IC. So we know that delta IC cancels. So what we are getting is delta IE by delta IC. We know already delta IC by delta IE. So that is nothing but alpha. Delta IC by delta IB, that is nothing but a beta. We try to see 1 by alpha equals to 1 by beta plus 1. So we simplify that alpha equals to beta by 1 plus beta. So rearranging the above equation, we get that beta equals to alpha by 1 minus alpha. So that is the relation between the alpha and beta. Alpha equal to beta by 1 plus beta. beta equals to alpha by 1 minus alpha. So relation between the alpha and gamma. So now we try to discuss about the relation between alpha and gamma. So what is the alpha? What is the gamma? You know that alpha is nothing but delta IC by delta IE when VCB is constant. So you know the gamma. Gamma is nothing but delta IC by delta IB when VCC is constant. VCE is constant. So again already you know the transistor configuration. Again you know emitter current equals to sum of the base current and the collector current. So change in the delta IE is equals to delta IB plus delta IC. Dividing the above equation with delta IE, we get delta IE by delta IE, delta IB by delta IE, delta IC by delta IE. So IE cancels. What we get? The 1 plus 1 by gamma plus alpha. Rearranging that, alpha equals to gamma minus 1 by gamma. Alpha equals to gamma minus 1 by gamma. Rearranging that, gamma equals to 1 by 1 minus alpha. Gamma equals to 1 by 1 minus alpha. So by this we can find the any of the value alpha or beta or gamma if you know any one current amplification factor. What these alpha, beta, gamma indicates? These alpha, beta, gamma are indicated the three different connections of the transistor current amplification factor. So in which configuration we are getting the current gain? How much of current gain we are getting? So that is given by this alpha, beta, gamma. So now we try to discuss the collector current expression in common base mode of a transistor. So now we try to derive the expression for the collector current. Collector current you can see. So already we know what we discussed. This is the common base configuration, emitter collector base. So alpha equal to IC by IE when VCB is constant. Beta equal to IC by IB, that is in the common emitter. Alpha, beta, we need to interchange this alpha and beta. So the relation also we need to know. IE equals to IB plus IC. You know that. So emitter current is equal to sum of base current and collector current. Emitter current is equal to sum of base current and the collector current. So in common base configuration, IE is the emitter input current and IC is the output current. IE is the emitter input current, IC is the collector output current. So the collector current comprises two components, the majority carriers and the minority carriers. Generally we consider only majority charge carriers, but if you write a equation, we need to consider all the values. At the ending, if the value is more larger compared to the minority charge carriers, we can neglect this minority effect. IC equals to IC majority plus ICO minority. IC majority means this is because of the majority charge carriers. ICO means this is the minority charge carriers whenever it is in the reverse bias. So IC majority plus ICO minority. IC majority is due to normal transistor operation. which is a fraction of emitter current. IC is nothing but IC is the majority is due to normal transistor operation, which is a fraction of emitter current, that is alpha IE. Alpha equal to IC by IE. Simply can say that IC equal to alpha IE. Now we see the figure shows what we needed. What we needed is ICBO. We need the ICO, that is the collector current whenever collector is open. So now we see the ICBO. ICBO means when the emitter is open, if you apply the reverse bias, what amount of the reverse collector to base reverse saturation current is flowing, collector to base flowing, that amount is nothing but a ICBO. That is nothing but a ICBO. Now we see ICO minority is temperature dependent leakage current. ICO, temperature dependent leakage current. ICBO or simply ICO, you can also say ICBO or ICO, is the reverse current flowing from collector to base. What is the current ICO? Collector to base when emitter is open. Collector to base when emitter is open. So now we can see, so what are the voltages we are getting? So what is the IB value? You can say that IB is nothing but a 1 minus alpha IE, 1 minus alpha IE minus ICO. What it means? 1 minus alpha means the total amount is IE, sum of the amount is recombined, that is alpha IE, and again sum of the amount is leaved because of this reverse saturation current ICO. That is, you can see how it is. IB equals to 1 minus alpha IE minus ICO. So now we can see how it is. IC equals to alpha IE plus ICBO. So now we can write, this is a majority, this is a minority. So now we can, the transistor IE equals to IB plus IC. IE equals to emitter current equals to base current plus collector current. Now you can see how it is. So PNP transistor is taken. PNP is there, 2% of this one. So whatever the thing is there, what happens means 2%, 98%, 100%. You can see 2% amount is losing here. IE is 100% we are getting. IC in terms of IB plus ICBO plus alpha and beta. IC equals to alpha IE plus ICBO. Alpha IE is the majority current, ICBO is minority current. So IE equals to IB plus IC, substitute there. So if you substitute IC equal to alpha IB plus IC plus ICBO, so alpha IB plus alpha IC, you take the common, so IC common, that is 1 minus alpha IB plus ICBO. IC equals to alpha by 1 minus alpha IB plus 1 minus alpha ICBO. Alpha minus 1 minus alpha is nothing but a beta. Beta IB, 1 by 1 minus alpha is nothing but a 1 plus beta. So this is the general equation when we are try to find the collector current of any type of transistor. the collector current is nothing but collector current equals to beta into IB plus 1 plus beta into ICBO. So what beta gives the current amplification factor in the common emitter configuration? So that is IC equals to beta into IB plus 1 plus beta ICBO. So now we discuss this one, majority carriers, minority carriers. So what we discussed here is how we represent the collector current of a transistor by using the majority charge carriers, minority charge carriers, and alpha beta with alpha beta. So what we indicated is the collector current IC equals to beta into IB plus 1 plus beta ICO. One ICO is nothing but a that is nothing but a minority charge carriers effect for producing the IC. Okay, so now we try to discuss about the collector current expression in common emitter mode. Until we discussed about the common base mode, now we try to discuss the common emitter mode. So we discussed about the common base configuration and BJT and common base configured components. So what we are going to discuss is in common emitter configuration, IB is the input current and IC is the output current. IB is the input current and IC is the output current. So this is nothing but a common emitter current. Common emitter ICEO. ICEO is nothing but a collector to emitter current when the collector junction in reverse bias and the emitter junction is open circuit. Emitter junction is open and collector junction is reverse current, that is nothing but a reverse saturation current in the emitter configuration. ICEO, how it is flowing you can see. So through the device and the emitter terminal we are getting is ICEO. Taking the leakage current into account, the collector current in CE configuration is IC equals to beta into IB plus ICEO. Beta into IB plus ICEO. You know that beta IB is the majority, ICEO is minority. So we know that IC equals to alpha 1 minus alpha IB plus ICBO 1 minus alpha, or IC equals to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICBO. So now equate ICEO equal to 1 plus beta ICBO. ICEO equals to 1 plus beta ICBO. It is clear that the leakage current in CE configuration is 1 plus beta times that of the leakage current in the common base configuration. What you understanding is, what you are getting is, the leakage current in CE configuration is 1 plus beta times that of the leakage current in the common base configuration. So we know that beta is greater than 1. ICEO is much more greater than ICBO. So we can write IC equals to beta IB plus ICEO. Common collector or what you say that a common emitter current equation is IC equals to beta IB plus ICEO. IC equals to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICBO. You can also write like that also. IC equals to beta IB plus 1 plus beta IC PO. So this is the equation when we are going to write in the common emitter collector equation. So now we try to compare the characteristics of the common base, common emitter, common collector. Transistor in common base configuration. Now is here what is a transistor in common base configuration. So we are taking the PNP transistor. So it is common base configuration. Common base means the base is common to the input side and output side. So what the base current is IB, emitter current is IE, collector current is IC. You can see the input supply voltage is VEE, the output biasing voltage is VCC. So we having the IE equals to IB plus alpha IE, that is alpha IE plus 1 minus alpha IE. So you can also have the equation IC equals to beta into 1 plus beta ICBO or ICO. You can also see the transistor and PNP transistor configuration in the common base configuration. So already you know that in the common base we having the higher output and higher input having that. So this is the common emitter configuration. So here emitter is common. Emitter is common for the both the input side and output side. So that is what you say, that is it should be in the active region. We need to apply VBB and VCC. Next one is the common collector. We not discussed about this common collector configuration. Generally we don't use muchly about this common collector. So common collector, you can see PNP transistor, collector is common. So the input is VBB and output is the emitter current only. Emitter current is the output. So generally it is used for the impedance matching purposes. This is called as a current follower. Like that we use this one. So now we compare the common base, common emitter, common collector. Common base, common emitter, common collector. So signal into, so in the common base you see, you try to visualize the common base, common emitter, common collector configurations. In the common base what happens? In the common base is the common. So base common means again we have in the two terminals common emitter, common collector. So emitter is input side, collector is output side. We can say that in what signal is going common base through the emitter. The signal is going common emitter is common. So remaining is the collector and base is there. Collector is output side, base is the input side. So the current is flowing through the base. Then common collector, in the common collector already you know collector is common, so input is the base, output is the emitter. So through the base it will moving. There is signal going through the emitter in the common base in the common emitter, base in the common collector. So from where the signal is going? From the transistor. In the common base, collector. In the common emitter, collector. In the common collector, already collector is common, so it is going from the emitter. So this common collector is also called as emitter follower. The emitter follower also we can call it as. And the input resistance, you can see the input resistance of the common base is common, input is the emitter. So the input is emitter means that is a forward bias, so the input resistance is low. In the common emitter also, emitter is common, base is there. The input is the forward bias and the resistance is medium. In the common collector, input resistance is very high. So that's why it is used for the impedance matching purposes. So the common collector input resistance is very high, 150 kilo ohm. Common emitter we having the 1000 kilo ohm. Common base we having the 20 ohms, very small. So if you having the input resistance is very small, what happen means the device may draw the more current, may it is act as a overload to the overload to that device. So generally we don't prefer low input resistance devices. The next one is the output resistance. So output resistance in the common base is high, that is 1 mega ohm, because it is the reverse bias, that's why we having the very high. In the common emitter also reverse bias, somewhat of it is a medium, 50 kilo ohm. Common emitter having the 50 kilo ohm, but common collector having the very low, very low, very low resistance. So you can see that by seeing the common collector, we can say that we achieved very good input and output resistances. But the problem is common collector having the common collector does not having the more amplification factor. That is the main thing we need. It does not have a common amplification factor. That's why we don't use that one. So next one is the current gain. You can see common base we call it as alpha, common emitter beta, and common collector we all call it as the gamma. So that's why current gain is less than unity in the common emitter, common base. In the common emitter we having the 100 and in the common collector very high, current gain is very high. But the coming to voltage gain, you can see coming to the voltage gain, the common base is having the low voltage gain, and this common emitter having the higher than 500 ohms, higher than the common base, higher than the common base. And coming to this common collector will having the very low, less than or equals to 1 voltage gain. So that why we don't prefer this common collector for the amplification purpose. We can use the common base and common emitter, but more preferably we use the common emitter configuration. More preferably we use the common emitter configuration. Common emitter configuration. The phase inversion, the common base we don't have any phase inversion, that is if we give the signal, the output signal is also in phase with the input, but in the common emitter we having the shifting is there. If you give the positive direction signal, we get the negative direction signal, 180 degree shifting is there. For the amplification, the signal shifting is there, that is a 180 degree, so we get the negative signal, amplified signal is negative signal. So in the common collector also we don't having any phase inversion is there. Thermal stability, common base having the very high, but common emitter having low, common collector having the highest value. So advantage is stability is more in the common base, higher gain in the common emitter. Common collector is a very high resistance, input resistance. So where we are using this means the common base used in the impedance matching purpose. Common base is used as the impedance matching purposes, and this common emitter is used for the amplification and different applications we are using the common emitter. So common collector is used for the matching Impedance matching are impedance transforming devices. That is a buffer. We can also use as a buffer. Impedance matching device or buffer, we can use the common collector device. So this is about the, even though leakage current is the severe problem in common emitter configuration, because of high voltage gain and current gain and power gain is, it is also mostly used. Common emitter is mostly used configuration. So you can say that why common emitter configuration is more better compared to the common base and common collector. So common emitter configuration is used for the amplification purpose. To amplify the any given signal, we use the common emitter. So what is the meaning of amplifier? Amplifier is a signal which converts the weak signal into the strong signal. How it is converting? So how it is converting means the DC energy what we are applying as a biasing, that DC energy is imported into the our input AC signal. So the AC signal takes the DC and it will strengthen the signal strength. It will make the weak signal into the strong signal. So for that purpose, what we needed is, we need the voltage gain should be high, current gain should be high, and overall power gain also should be high. So in three configuration, the best one is the common emitter configuration. Why? Because the input resistance is moderately high, the output resistance is moderately low, and the current gain is moderately high, the voltage gain is also high, and ultimately the power gain is also high. So that's why common emitter configuration having the high power gain. So that's why we are used in the power application, that is amplifier applications. So this is about the transistor applications briefing about this one. So now we try to discuss about overall in 4 classes what we discussed. We try to summarize those things in a short form. So once again we try to discuss briefly about the bipolar junction transistor working principle and the applications overview. Overall what we discussed in the 4 classes, a simple slides we try to explain here. So what is the bipolar junction transistor? The BJT was invented in 1948 by William Shockley, Britain, and John Bardeen, which has remolded not only the world of electronics but also in our day-to-day life. The basics of electronic system nowadays is semiconductor device. The famous and commonly used of this device is BJTs. It can be used as amplifier and logic switches. Let's look into BJT types working principles. So what is bipolar junction transistor? The bipolar junction transistor is a solid state device, and in the BJTs the current flow in two terminals, they are emitter and collector, and the amount of current controlled by the third terminal, that is base terminal. It is different to the other type of transistor, that is field effect transistor, which is the output current is controlled by the input voltage, but in the transistor the output current is controlled by the input base current. The bipolar junction transistor is a solid state device, and in the BJTs the current flow in two terminals, they are emitter and collector, and the amount of current controlled by the third terminal, that is the base terminal. The symbols of the BJTs, you can see the emitter, base, collector. We having the two types are there. PNP transistor, NPN transistor, common emitter, common base, common collector. We having like that. So types of bipolar junctions transistors are, the bipolar junction transistors consist of two types of transistor which given as point contact junction transistor. So further the junction transistors are classified into two types which are PNP junction transistor, NPN junction transistor. There are the three electrodes for each junction transistor. They are emitter, collector and base. We having the three electrodes. They having the three electrodes for each junction transistor. They are emitter, collector and base. So PNP transistor, what having the PNP transistor? PNP junction transistor. In PNP junction transistor, the emitter is more positive with base and also with respect to the collector. The PNP transistor is a three-terminal device which is made from the semiconductor material. The three terminals are collector, base and the emitter and the transistor, or base, emitter and collector. It is used for the switching and amplifying applications. Operation of PNP transistor. The collector terminal is connected to the positive terminal, the emitter to a negative supply with resistor, either the emitter or collector circuit. To the base terminal, the voltage is applied and it operates transistor as an on and off state. The transistor is in off state when the base voltage is same as the emitter voltage. Operation of PNP transistor. The transistor mode is in on state when the base voltage decreases with respect to the emitter. By using this property, the transistor can act on both applications like switch and amplifier. The basic diagram of PNP transistor is shown in figure. You can see the PNP. NPN junction transistor. The NPN junction transistor is exactly opposite to the PNP transistor. The NPN transistor contains three terminals which are same as the PNP transistor, which are emitter, collector and base. Operation of the NPN transistor is the positive supply is given to the collector terminal, the negative supply to the emitter terminal with a resistor, either the emitter or collector or emitter circuit. To the base terminal, the voltage is applied and it's operated as an on-off state of a transistor. The transistor is in off state when the base voltage is same as the emitter. Operation of the NPN transistor. If the base voltage is increased with respect to the emitter, then the transistor mode is in on state. By using this condition, the transistor can act like both applications which are amplifier and switch. The basic symbol and the NPN configuration diagram is as shown in figure. Collector, base, emitter, NPN. So this is the NPN transistor. Heterobipolar junction. The heterobipolar junction transistor is also a type, is the bipolar junction transistor. It uses different semiconductor materials to the emitter and base region and produces heterojunction. The HBT can handle the singles of very high frequencies of several hundred gigahertz. It is used in ultra fast circuit and mostly used in radio frequency. So application of heterobipolar junction, you can see cellular phones and RF power amplifiers. So now we are working principle of the BJT. What is the working principle? The BE junction is a forward bias and the CB, that is the emitter junction, is a forward bias and the collector junction is a reverse bias junction. The width of the depletion region of the common base junction is collector junction is higher than the emitter junction. The width of the depletion region of the collector junction is higher than the base emitter junction. The forward bias at the emitter junction decreases the barrier potential, produces electrons to flow from the emitter to the base. The base is a thin and lightly doped. It has very few holes and less amount of electrons from the emitter. So you can simply say that collector junction and emitter junction, both junctions are there. Emitter junction is forward bias and collector junction is reverse bias. The width of the collector junction depletion region is more compared to the emitter junction. The forward bias at emitter junction decreases the barrier potential. It produces the electrons flow from the emitter to the base. The base is a thin and lightly doped. It has very few holes and less amount of electrons from the emitter. So working principle of BJT, about 2% it recombine in the base region with holes, and from the base terminal it will flow out. This initiates the base current flow due to combination of electrons and the holes. This initiates the base current flow due to combination of electrons and the holes. The leftover large number of electrons will pass the reverse bias collector junction to initiate the collector current. About 2% it recombine in the base region with the holes, and from the base terminal it will be flow out. This initiate the base current flow due to combination of electrons and holes. The leftover large number of electrons will pass the reverse bias collector junction to initiate the collector current. So by using the Kirchhoff law, we can observe that the mathematical equation is IE equals to IB plus IC. The base current is very less as compared to the emitter and collector current. So we can say emitter current is approximately equal to the collector current. Here the operation of PNP transistor is same as the NPN transistor. Here the operation of PNP transistor is same as the NPN transistor. The only difference is only holes instead of electrons. Only the holes instead of the electrons. You can see the BJT how we are connected. Emitter junction is forward bias, collector junction is in the reverse bias. IE, IB, IC. IE equal to IB plus IC. So advantages of BJT. So bipolar junction advantages is high driving capability is there, high frequency of operation is there. Digital logic family has an emitter coupled logic used in BJT as a digital switch. There is a low forward voltage drop. So these are the some of the advantages: high driving capability, high frequency operation. Digital logic family has an emitter coupled logic used in the BJT as a digital switch. There is low forward voltage drop. So disadvantage of this BJT is it has very complex base control, very complex base control. The controlling of this is very complex. It may lead to confusion and hence requires the skillful handling. So this base having the confusion and hence requires the skillful handling. So application of the BJT is used in the switch application and the amplification. Generally this is used in the switch and amplifier. So switch and amplifier we are using. Switch means we having the generally transistor having the three regions. So the three regions we having the active region, cutoff region, saturation region. So in these three regions, by using the cutoff region and saturation region, we make the transistor as the switch. So in the third region, that is the active region, by using the active region, the transistor is acting as a amplifier. So these are the two modes which we use the transistor. So these are the applications of the transistor: switching and the amplification. So what we conclude from this is, so in this four classes we discussed about this transistor, BJT, bipolar junction transistor, how many types of BJTs are there, and what are the working principles of BJT, and what are the configuration of this transistor, and what are the currents, and what are the current amplifications factors which we are getting in the three configuration, and what is the relation between these three current amplification factors, and we find the common base collector current, common emitter collector current, so on. So bipolar junction transistors are current operated devices. What we can say that bipolar junction transistors are current operated devices. This presentation gives the information about what is bipolar junction transistor, types of bipolar junction transistor, advantages and applications, and characteristics of the bipolar junction transistor. So thank you. So in the next class we try to discuss about another topic, so that we completely learn about the NPN transistor and PNP transistor. Thank you.